Welcome everyone, join us today as we honor the life and legacy of CHAS Chandler, the quiet force behind two music revolutions, first as bassist for the Animals, then as the man who introduced the world to Jimi Hendrix. So let's dive in. CHAS Chandler, born Brian James Chandler on the 18th of December 1938, in Heaton, Newcastle, England. Born shortly before the outbreak of World War II, CHAS was raised at 35 2nd Avenue and attended Heaton Grammar School. He later worked as a turner at the Swan Hunter Shipyard and Parsons Engineering Works, but it was music that truly captured his heart. In 1962, while still working as a turner, CHAS taught himself guitar and later bass, eventually joining the Alan Price Trio, the group that would evolve into the Animals. The band became a key force in the British invasion of the US in 1964, following the trail blazed by the Beatles. The Animals made history as only the second British band to reach #1 in America with their powerful, electric rendition of the traditional folk song House of the Rising Sun. Their bold version not only topped the charts but is widely credited with influencing Bob Dylan, who had recorded an acoustic take in 1962, to embrace electric instruments, helping to usher in the era of folk rock. Though House of the Rising Sun brought the Animals international acclaim, it also sparked tensions that would eventually lead to the group's downfall. Because the song was traditional and had no official composer, keyboardist Alan Price convinced the record label to credit the arrangement solely to him, arguing that his organ solo played a key role in its success. As a result, he received all the royalties from the hit, creating deep resentment among the other band members. Many felt Hilton Valentine's iconic guitar arpeggio was just as vital to the track's identity. Amid growing frustration, Price left the band. Although the Animals continued to chart, including with the Vietnam-era anthem We've Got to Get Out of This Place, featuring one of CHAS's standout bass lines, the energy had faded. By 1966, the band was nearing its end. CHAS later reflected, "It just wasn't fun anymore. We toured relentlessly for 3 years, playing 300 shows a year, and barely saw any of the money." The original run of the Animals had ended, though CHAS would reunite with the classic lineup for a brief stint in 1977 and again during a revival in 1983. But by mid-1966, his focus had shifted. He was in New York, eager to reinvent himself, this time on the business side of music. While dating model Linda Keith, CHAS attended a performance by folk singer Tim Rose and was especially taken by a haunting ballad called Hey Joe. He tucked the song away in his mind, thinking it had potential for the right artist. Not long after, Linda urged him to check out a guitarist playing at Café Wah in Greenwich Village, a young talent she believed in. That guitarist was Jimi Hendrix. As fate would have it, Hendrix's set included Hey Joe. For CHAS, the connection was immediate. He had found his artist. And from that night on, everything changed. In September 1966, CHAS convinced Jimi Hendrix to come to the UK, promising to help launch the guitarist's career. One of Hendrix's only questions was whether Marshall amps were available in Britain, a concern CHAS quickly put to rest. Not long after, the two boarded a flight from New York to London. Once there, CHAS assembled a band around Hendrix's incredible talent, bringing in Noel Redding on bass and Mitch Mitchell on drums. Together, they became the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Shortly after forming the group, Hendrix was introduced to Heaton, Newcastle, CHAS's hometown. In January 1967, Chandler brought him up north, not for a concert, but for a late-night drinking session at his house. Hendrix is even believed to have stayed there briefly. Local legends claim he busked on Chillingham Road or outside the Raby Arms on Shields Road, though no photos or recordings have ever surfaced to confirm it. Jimi Hendrix did in fact perform in Newcastle, both at the Club A Go-Go, once located in Handyside Arcade on Percy Street, and later at the City Hall. His visit to the city is remembered in an unexpected way in Tynemouth. A plaque on Front Street marks the spot where Hendrix, after his Club A Go-Go gig on Friday, March 10, 1967, sat overlooking the sea enjoying fish and chips from Marshall's Chip Shop. The coincidence is striking. The shop shares its name with the iconic amplifiers Hendrix famously inquired about when meeting CHAS, as well as his own middle name. It wasn't long before Hendrix left behind the clubs and chip shops at Tyneside to take his place among the brightest stars of the 1960s music scene. His breakthrough came with a stunning performance at the Monterey Pop Festival in California during the summer of 1967. From there, his rise was meteoric, headlining iconic events like Woodstock in 1969 and the Isle of Wight Festival in August 1970. Tragically, the Isle of Wight would be his final major performance. Hendrix passed away just weeks later, on September 18, 1970, from an accidental drug overdose in London. CHAS received the heartbreaking news back home in Newcastle. Stepping off a train from London at Central Station, he was surprised to see his father waiting on the platform, something that had never happened before. Curious, CHAS asked why he'd come. It was then that his father gently delivered the devastating news that would stay with him forever. CHAS carried on in music management and soon found his next big act, four lads from the West Midlands known as Ambrose Slade. Hoping to stir up attention, he made the bold move of giving him a drastic image makeover: cropped hair, boots, and the style of the emerging skinhead scene. The idea backfired. Guitarist Dave Hill later joked that the crowd they drew in expected reggae, but instead got a band featuring a violinist covering Paul McCartney's gentle tune, Martha My Dear, from the White Album. Eventually, the band changed course, growing their hair back, shortening their name to simply Slade, and finding their footing with the breakout single, Get Down and Get With It. From there, their rise was unstoppable. By the end of the 1970s, they had racked up 6 UK #1 hits, matching ABBA for the most chart toppers by any group that decade. Just as Hendrix once made his way to Newcastle, so did Slade. Reflecting on his 5 decades in music back in 2013, frontman Noddy Holder fondly recalled his time in the Northeast, saying of his manager and producer, "CHAS Chandler was a Geordie, and I had some great times up there. I don't remember much of it, but I know it was a blast." CHAS bought IBC Studios, renamed it Portland Recording Studios, and ran it for 4 years before selling it to Don Arden. From there, he launched several record labels, including Barn Records, Six of the Best, and Cheapskate Records. He also established a music publishing agency, production company, and management firms. In 1978, he also briefly produced the American rock band Horsepower. CHAS's final contribution to music left a permanent mark on his hometown. In 1995, alongside fellow Tyneside musician Nigel Stanger, he played a key role in founding the Newcastle Arena, now known as the Utilita Arena. Though plans are underway to replace it with a new venue on Gateshead Quays, the arena has for over 25 years brought world-class acts, from David Bowie and Bob Dylan to Neil Young and B.B. King, to Tyneside audiences. In a fitting full-circle moment, CHAS truly brought it all back home, echoing the very blues roots he began with in the late 50s. On a personal note, CHAS was married twice. His first marriage was to Swedish wife Lotta, with whom he had a son, Stefan, in 1969 before they later divorced. He then had a brief relationship with singer Lindsay DePaul from 1974 to 1975. In 1977, he married model and former Miss UK Madeline Stringer, with whom he remained until his passing. Together, they had 3 children, son Alex, born 1979, and daughters Catherine, 1983, and Elizabeth, 1989. In the late 1980s, CHAS faced serious health challenges, spending 3 months in hospital for heart surgery during which he suffered kidney failure and multiple strokes, but ultimately made a recovery. 7 years after his heart surgery, CHAS suffered a relapse and passed away within a week. Sadly, on the 17th of July 1996, he died from an aortic aneurysm at Newcastle General Hospital, aged 57. In May 2001, CHAS and the Animals were posthumously inducted into Hollywood's Rock Walk of Fame. And there you have it. Though CHAS Chandler is no longer here with us, his legacy lives on in the voices and guitars of every generation he helped inspire, from the House of the Rising Sun to Purple Haze. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on your favorite icons, just like this. Take care and bye for now.